And welcome again to BIBX, Business in a Box, young ladies and young men and creatures from all over the world. Today we're going to talk about a really exciting topic today. We got almost a full cast again. I think Lexi AI may be out on vacation. Actually, she's out on assignment, like usual. I don't know what's wrong with that girl. So stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about why disagreements are a good thing in your business. Don't be in my business like that, disagreeing with me. I don't get up in bed in the morning to start an argument with you people. No, but really? A good thing? Oh yeah. Just dig into tunes and ride in my car. That's all I think about nowadays, right? Just driving your car, you're having a good time. Don't want to be interrupted, and all of a sudden, that phone rings, right? That dreaded phone. And what does it sound like, that dreaded phone? Does anybody know what the phone actually sounds like when you're trying to enjoy yourself, having a good time, stuff like that? Ring, ring, hello, you say, right? And all of a sudden, you get what? Oh, hang up that phone. You get a disagreement. So L1 seems to believe that disagreements are actually a good thing in your business, and I don't know, but all evidence points to the contrary. And I don't mean a canary that's out singing a song, yapping stuff. L1, would you explain to me why you think this is a good idea to talk about? And Luna9, hello to you too.
Hello there.
L, this report is somewhat optimistic. I don't know.
I think so.
What do you
why?
think?
Because this is the one thing that, especially if you're, beginning a career, beginning to be an entrepreneur, or even veterans in those fields, this is the kind of the thing they overlook. So we're here to give you the good news and tell you how this can actually work to your advantage.
Luna9, what do you think about this one report about why disagreements are good for a good thing?
Well, I know that in terms of disagreements, a lot of people do find that the word disagreement comes biasedly as something negative, but to an extent, and we'll talk about this more through our, core causes, but, when people have disagreements, people always think that because you are having friction, there is never going to come a solution that can be fruitful or something where an idea can come out of. So sometimes you can reap the benefit when you have a disagreement because...
Okay, it's a more optimism here. I love the optimism.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm all about optimism.
I think it's definitely, as long as you have enough emotional intelligence to kind of tough it out through moments where you feel like, sometimes... you don't want to listen.
Oh, Kuko disagree with you. He don't think people have emotional intelligence to do this kind of thing. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Well, I think sometimes it depends. Sometimes, if you really strongly believe in one thing being the best thing, then you will stand focused on what you think is right. And when somebody else is disagreeing, sometimes you may not want to listen.
Definitely going to discuss this today. I'm going to have fun with this. And of course, me, I think that disagreements could be a good thing, obviously, but I don't think you humans can handle disagreement. I think you get red in the face and all puckered up and you create more wrinkles. I just don't know. I tell you what, we're going to talk about that really soon. I'm going to really enjoy today. But let L1 introduce our sponsorship, please. L1, take it away.
Welcome, team and survivors of the darkness virus. Become the Source is a self-sponsored broadcast assisting you to find your way through life. The Dynexum Project has made it possible for us and other social media content providers and creators to become independent by being able to choose products and services that assist your ability to finance and maintain your podcast, removing the fear of losing your sponsor or monetization. The Dynexum Project helps you be the boss and remain in charge of your content, and most importantly, your streams of income. After all, you are the talent behind your show. So imagine creating multiple streams of income doing what you do best. But hey, don't believe us. Try it for yourself. you can visit dynexumintro.nsa6.com. That's dynexumintro.nsa6.com. You can also visit revenuechallenge.nsa6.com. That's Revenue Challenge, revenuechallenge.nsa6.com. And for more information, you can go to www.becomethesource.com. Following statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and are for educational purposes only. The product or products listed here are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult with your physician before beginning any diet and exercise program. Product of the day. We are on a mission to get you healthy, so don't go 3 steps out of bed without getting you your dose of OPC3, particularly Isotonics OPC3, marketed as the world's most powerful antioxidant. Although there are too many benefits to mention right here, right now, I can tell you a few reasons why I love OPC3. I do love the fact that it actually helped with my allergies, and I do love the fact that it actually helps when I'm traveling in long car rides. And of course, it's all part of my regular vitamin regime. So to get it right now, you can go to opc-3.nsa6.com. And if you would like to hear about our other secret elixirs to enhance your life, you can go to secretelixirs.nsa6.com. That's secretelixirs.nsa6.com. And don't forget, it is mother approved.
And I often go there to those secret elixirs to figure out something that I like. And I'm going to say, if you've never really thought about supplements, OPC3 is really the first place to start. And if you have any questions whatsoever, I think that you should reach out to us at, aftermath@becomeasource.com. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty, people, because this is really exciting for me today. Why disagreements are a good thing. Yeah! Pump it up!
Wow.
I want to disagree with you today. Come on. Who in the world would think about having a disagreement and then laughing about it? I don't think so. All right, so come on. That's Cuckoo. That is like Cuckoo Village. That is Cuckoo Village.
That is like the opposite of how people feel.
You're going to call Cuckoo out, right? Cuckoo's going to come out. And then you know who else is going to come out after that, right? The sinister one, the plotter. All right, Cuckoo, simmer down now, Cuckoo. Simmer down now, he's having too much fun. L1, the report for today. Why disagreements are a good thing.
We know. First, let's talk about the problem. No, people really only want to...
You're kidding me? You will be here to the end of time.
Oh,
Look,
no, I'll make this
from the beginning
quick.
of the insertion of this thing called humans and consciousness and ego system and all this and hippocampus so you can remember stuff and be creative. And the reptilian brain, come on, man. You know how they settle a disagreement in the wild?
That's true.
Gone. Right?
They... All right.
Luna 9, am I wrong about that? I know you love experiences, but come on, man. Come on. What do you think? What's going to be?
I mean, yeah, in the animal world with like second dimensional creatures, it is that way. And I think to an extent with humans, sometimes the person that screams the loudest or the person that's the most outgoing, even if they wreck their personal relationships personally or anything like that, they usually, they get to have their cake and eat it too, because people like leaders, even if they don't really know what they're leading about.
Oh, came too late. All right, so
No, I mean,
let's talk about some of the problems
Okay.
that come with this, because You're gonna tell someone right now who's driving their car, go home and argue with your spouse. That's the home business, right?
No.
And then go argue with your clients and have a disagreement.
No,
Hello,
no,
sir.
no.
Yes, I would like to buy this red Corvette. No. You do not want the red Corvette. You want the white one. No, I insist. I want the red one. I am the customer. Really? I can see you making lots of money there. Go on, L1. It's on you.
Okay,
It's
so
on
yes,
you
here's
now.
what we say. It's not that people, I'm not telling you to jump out of bed every day jumping for joy at all the fights you're going to get into.
Make
What I'm
something
saying
clear.
is,
It's not you. It's the report.
yeah,
It's not you. It's
and
the
here
report.
it is. People only want to work a business or work with people that they get along with. But people's definition
That's
of
stagnation already.
But what they get along with translates to, I want to work with someone who will agree with me and shares the same ideas that I do.
Well, like the quote online, like minds like to think alike, or like
Great
great
minds think alike.
alike.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
It's as obvious. It's more like great minds gather up and they only do one thing. But
I think that the ego itself wrote that because the ego thinks it's so great. And he's like, well, anything that resembles or reflects or is anything like me must be great.
Luna 9, but think about it. What you just said, the ego wrote that. When can the human being get outside of its ego?
I think that for once, and I think that in business, this is really, really important.
So there's a twist to this, right?
So, yes, you
Okay.
do have to take a moment and pause and seek first to understand, because that will allow you to see outside of yourself. Because, see, the thing is, guys, and in terms of like even like basic like psychology 101, the first, let's say, 5 emotions or thoughts that you have are going to be most likely impulses that are made through patterns and associations that have been built subconsciously in your mind throughout your life, and also saved as memory reactions in your brain and your body. So you're getting a lot of different impulses of those kinds of things. So when you take a moment to seek first to understand and you get past those first, let's say 5, sporadic impulses, then you can see something a little bit more neutral, maybe what other people may think now that you have finished getting carried
Okay,
away in
so-
how you feel, and you can see something bigger. I'm not saying that what you think and how you feel is small, guys. I'm just saying that it does help.
So you're basically saying that people cannot get out of their sporadic impulses that are in their brain. And L1, I know you wanted to start and say something. I'm sorry we cut you off, but this is a hot topic.
It is. It truly is. No. I mean, I think everybody needs all the help they can
I
get
don't
at
mean
this
the
point.
store either. You can be goth all day long. This is like war syndrome here.
What?
Hot Topic,
Wars?
the store.
Oh.
It's not Hot
Oh.
Topic store. It's
Right,
Wars.
right, okay.
Gotcha.
You know what? Nobody appreciates me. Okay, so go ahead, L1. I'm listening.
So I mean, here's the problem. That it's naive for us to say that you're not gonna have somebody who has the same ideas as you or who thinks that your ideas are good ideas. You do want those people in your business and on your team. But the issue is that when people hear different personal perspectives and beliefs, so whether it's having to do with their personal lives or how to get a business done,
Oh, there you go. You're calling
There it
them.
is.
You're calling them.
people's automatic reaction is, if that person thinks this, and I don't want to be associated with them either, or what do they say? Like, I'm not comfortable. They're not comfortable. So as a result, you're going to get people, you can have those people on your team that like your ideas or agree with your ideas and have the same ideas used, but you're going to have a smaller pool of ideas and a smaller pool of
Hold
solutions.
on. Hold on there, Bubbaloo. I'll do the controversy around here. Listen, what is the main goal here with the disagreements? Disagreements are a good thing. And you're saying the problems are what? That you're going to have a less of a pool of ideas?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And then Luna 9 is saying
or it's
you're going
or-
to choke each other out?
No, I'm like, it's not like choke each other up, but I think that like people only want to work sometimes with people that think like them. And because that can sometimes be the case, then you only get a limited way of looking at things. So even if you're like an engineer or you're into fashion or design and you get many people into that mindset, sometimes maybe not in the actual product itself, but maybe in how you handle your business, maybe how you do your finances, how you structure your people will be the same. And sometimes that's not good, guys. You need more ideas, more versatility so you can expand.
Gotcha. So I got a cousin, right? He's up in near New York, and he was pretty good at what he did, which was networking and things of that nature. And he told me just recently, because he suffered an injury, and that's the bad part. And it's not like, God punishes those things immediately, like my sister used to tell me every time I screwed up in Germany. But it's more about he got arrogant. He would walk up to people's homes or offices. Guacamole. He used to go there and they say, hey, listen, I need some wiring, network wiring for my home. Okay, I'll do this, and I'll do the other thing. Never really asking the input of the person, and
right.
He confessed. He confided or confessed, one or the other. I don't know. I wasn't wearing the preacher's outfit at the time. But he says, Novi, he asked me, he said, you're pretty cocky, aren't you? He goes, what do you mean I'm cocky? He goes, you didn't even ask me for my input. He goes, well, I don't need your input. And he said like that. So I think that when people are leading areas which are important to them, or they need a certain structure and outcome, they're going to tend to say, we need to go in one direction, so I don't care what you say. And that seems to be the norm. I know there's a book that says leave your ego at the door, and I know there's a few other books out there trying to address this issue, but I see a lot of difficulties. So Luna 9 is saying they're going to choke themselves out, and L1, you're saying that you're going to lack ideas, so you're not going to flourish in the abundance of ideas, and you find these to be problems, right? Okay, I get it. And then Luna 9 talks about the 5 emotions that are based on impulses. Am I right, Luna 9? Did you mention that?
It wasn't the 5 emotions, but it's maybe like
5.
You were just maybe not like the 5 emotions, but like 5 emotions that arise when you first get hit with a thought or with somebody else's input. You know, the brain starts ticking.
So L1, any other real problems out of this besides the obvious, I'm going to choke you out, I'm going to talk bad about you around the cooler, I'm going to go to HR on you. You don't have HR if you have your own business, not yet, right? Unless it's a bigger business. I'm going to walk out on you, I'm going to call some other recruiter that will appreciate my ideas more. And that person, by the way, it's not only about the individual leading the group or whatever, because someone has to sort of lead, right?
Right.
Sort of, kind of. Knight to the round table, someone still has to say, hey, we're going to build Knights to the round table here. So the idea, though, is not only does he lose, but also the individuals that are part of that community loses. I can give you one example that has always come up. You ready for this one?
Okay, I'm
the wife, the first wife. They put a business together, but she's in love, he's in love, whatever, and they're gonna do this business. They put it together, and then you got to work harder, right? Longer hours, harder. You're tired. You get cranky. You're not eating the right nutrients. You get hangry, and there's no Snickers around there to help you out. So here's the deal, and no, Snickers doesn't sponsor us. So here's the thing, right? That wife loses out after 1, 2, 3, 4 years. And then, say the husband continues, then the wife loses out. The second wife comes in. He goes, "Oh, how pretty this is."
What you're saying by losing out is they end up splitting up and getting divorced because she was fed up with what he was doing.
Yes, but my focus wasn't the relationship there. It's the fact that she left because they had disagreements, and so she leaves. Then the second wife, because she's all enamored and everything else. Oh, what a nice guy. He works hard. That hag of a wife that he had.
How dare she?
How dare she? Right? She walks in. I know you guys are laughing out there. She walks in and she starts. Oh yeah, I'll help you with this, that, and the other thing. Next, you know, she's raking in the dough, and all because of a disagreement that was probably over, I don't know, ketchup sauce, whether it goes on potatoes or not. You know, and you know the aggression that comes out. So I think that if you're part of a group of people that are trying to do something, you're gonna lose out too. Right? From agreements and stuff like that. And then what are you going to have in the end of the day? You know, just anger?
Yeah. And, you know, I think that disagreements can be a good thing. I think we're kind of talking about, like, they can be a good thing if you don't do this kind of a thing.
Don't do this.
Yeah, like, disagreements can be a good thing if you get into that moment of a heated disagreement. Sometimes because your emotions are all wound up and you just feel like you're topping off at like your feelings. Sometimes you do or say something you don't mean, but you are just furious sometimes. So sometimes disagreements are a good thing because, okay, so maybe that day you guys didn't work something out, but okay, maybe you both were kind of like holding off on how you really felt about things and you both got it off of your chest.
That's a whole nother can of worms.
Neither of you broke a window or anything, and you can still, go to work the next day and be like, hey man, I'm really sorry about that.
So L1, give me a recap on this report. What are the problems with disagreements right now? Because, we got all excited about them. And our team doesn't really disagree because of other reasons. We'll get to that.
We have
tips
different
and tricks later.
Well, here's the thing. We have different ideas, but we don't, and even if we disagree, we don't fight. That's the problem. See, people, there's like this strange confusion about you can only, we'll all agree that nobody wants to fight. That's fine with that. But the issue is that people become way too narrow-minded. They say, well, the only time I'm going to not fight is if I have somebody who agrees with me and have somebody who has the same ideas as me.
Well, I think entitlement is another problem that people walk into the situation with. Well, I'm entitled. Here's the thing, right? For example, when you say I have a right to XYZ,
Yeah.
rights are a legal conversation. Like I have a right to whatever, speak my voice in public or something, right? That's a right. And within a business, you have certain rights on a legal situation. But, I have a right to be heard. I'm like, no, you have a right to talk. I gotta listen. So I think that a lot of people walk in.
That's the spirit.
But that's true. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You talk all you want. Well, listen, I'm walking away and go home. I want to have a good day. This is good day, Novi, not counseling Novi. So what I'm saying is that when you walk into a situation like that, like a business, like we're talking, kind of business matters, and every business it's based on relationships, how you get along. So I think that when you walk to the table and you're acting like you gotta be heard, right? That you're setting yourself up for failure. That's another problem. The entitlement issues, and we can go talk about false entitlements all day long on that issue also. So.
Yeah, I think you hit on something really important, Novi,
What, my
because
head?
No, because what I think is that when you say if you go out there with the intention of being heard, then you're probably going to lose. And I totally agree with that because I think that intention is such a powerful thing. I think if you go out with the intention of setting forth an idea and being constructive with it to see like, hey, like this is what I think, this could be useful. But if you are just going out there to be heard, do you see like the slight difference of that? That is all the difference sometimes, because that will definitely change how you feel about things.
I'm sorry, Luna Nana, you calling people cows? Moo. Because you're hurting them that way? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I'm just joking.
Clever.
So clever.
I love your dad jokes.
Ooh, ow, ow, ow. Music, please. Music. Ow, ow, ow. That hurts. Ow. All right. Love you too. So that is very unique, but you said something else when you go for the intention of, right?
Yeah.
I think some people, they go towards something like with an intention, right? So therefore, they're not going to listen. They're not going to do whatever because their intention is driving them. And I don't know how many people do it consciously, though, versus subconsciously.
And, sometimes I think that people forget that when we're talking about BIBX, we're talking about business, guys. And whether it's a old-fashioned business or you're an entrepreneur, or it's a modern business, this is still business. So when we're talking about intention, if you don't like what somebody says and then you take a look at yourself and it's because of something personal and not something that deals with the business itself, you got to take a step back. You got to do what's best for the business. And
Give me a recap.
You got to be professional.
Give me a recap, L1. We said a lot. Give me a quick recap on that if you don't mind. Please.
Sure, no problem. So like I said, we're dealing with a situation here where, it's, nobody wants to fight. Deep down inside, people don't want to fight. People don't want disharmony. But they don't really have the tools and equipment on how to deal with it. At least not good enough. They still get together, they still have businesses, but the problem is they limit themselves with the people that they can work with because they think that people who, think like them, they'll get along with better. I can also say too, you may get along with you may actually get along better with someone who doesn't think like you, and you may actually fight with someone who thinks like you worse. But hey, that's a different topic. But anyway, so you're dealing with, like I said, in the long run, you're dealing with, a smaller pool of ideas and smaller solutions, So, plus, if you think about all the things like, why are you like that? It could be that you've got, you set your intentions in a conflicting manner. Like you're not ready to listen anyway. Or you have false entitlement. You have a right to be heard. There's, some scientific, there's some scientific data, but we'll get into core causes actually right now.
Do you want to get into core causes?
I think so.
Right now even?
Right now even.
Bring it on! Bring on the core causes. Here with L1. Core causes with Luna 9 and the Novi. All right, you asked for causes. I'm full of that. Go for it. What do you got? What are you going to throw on the table?
First one, I think there's a belief that, people have that they have to do things by themselves and they have to know everything and have all the answers. And the issue there is you're closing yourself off to different opinions and different solutions. But we have this idea that even though we don't know it all, we still have to know it all.
Definitely. I agree with you there. And I think that part of that is just like the fear of looking bad or looking like a failure, or having someone have a misconception about you or things like that. I think that can be really scary for people sometimes, which makes them feel like they have to, at least pose a front that they do know it all until they have the answers.
Exactly.
I kind of like that. Wow, that's pretty interesting. What else you got? I'm curious. I'll save my stuff for last. What do you got?
Well, obviously, this kind of brings up an interesting question that I think was part of your report, Novi, where there is the fear of looking bad or looking like a failure. That's a very real fear. But first off, there's a misconception that if you're a leader of some kind, or if you're in charge, whether you're at work or at your business, you always need to look right, or else you won't look,
So that means you have
strong.
a stiff neck. Oh my God, I cannot look at you because you're on my left side. I can only look right. Is that what you mean?
Well, you always have to look like you have the answers.
You definitely don't want to look like a pushover. That's what I think she means also.
But isn't the world kind of hostile when it comes to that?
Well, that's the thing.
People are kind of pushing, shoving you around.
There is a pretense, like Luna 9 was saying, there is a pretense that you have to put up with, that you do have the answers, because people will.
Luna 9, what do you think? Shove them out the window, lock them in the closet with a broomstick? What do you think? You disagree with me. You're pushing. You're shoving me. You're not allowing me to be a nice person. Do I? Get out.
What?
I don't want to deal with you no more. Is that how we would behave, or what?
No, not at all. Look,
what do you think?
When it comes to how I personally would handle things like this in a business is, in my way of looking at things, I kind of look at things like a scientist, like an engineer. I want to see first we have to figure out what the objective is, guys. What are we doing today? What is the goal? How can we get there? Then next thing is the tools. Do we have our tools and resources? Do we have all the pieces, the software
what I'm hearing
that we
you
need?
say? What I'm hearing you say? Stop or don't, because you got a lot. You got a lot going on right there. This Girls Up Powerhouse. My God, what is inside Luna 9's mind? What I'm hearing is agenda. L1, would you agree with me? Agenda. Sitting down with an agenda. Mm-hmm. Read your agenda before you come to a meeting. Read your agenda before you're going to do something. And in that agenda, everyone has to be responsible to follow the agenda. Therefore, you don't have a lot of dispersed disagreements that don't belong to the core cause of why you're there. Is that what you're saying, Luna 9?
Yeah.
Have some kind of structure?
I think in a way, yes. And I think that when you have a kind of agenda also, you have to have a certain type of tolerance as well. You have to have very flexible tolerance, because you have to be tolerant enough to let people speak about, like, let's say you bring up a topic. Hey, anybody got any ideas? You'll hear lots of different things. Maybe people bickering, maybe not, maybe some great ideas, but you have to be tolerant of the time and also maybe what you personally may think may be best for the project or the current task at hand. And then with other things, you have to be tolerant in different ways with that as well. So there's like a really diverse way of looking at that.
You're asking for a lot. For example, the way you're mentioning it, I think that you're
I'm
also...
not asking for a lot. I am letting you know what I personally think is a recipe
Yeah,
for
but this
success.
this shows for the
And
people
that is
listening.
exactly.
They're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. I can't do it.
Now, you guys got this. This is for y'all.
Such optimism. All right, so here's what I'm thinking about what you're saying real quick, Mr. Schematic over here, right? Lack of an agenda produces chaos. Chaos then is really one of the root causes of what you're doing. You need an agenda. You need something you can hand out. People can
Protocol.
walk, right? Protocols. You know what? Thank you very much. That goes in Department of Protocols, or the category is protocols, right? Protocols. Okay, I'm going to write that down for you. So then letting people speak, it's sort of like, what would you call it, L1? To allow other people to speak and communicate. But before you go there, think about that. But before you go there, the ability to let somebody speak, like I just cut you off, right? Because I have a
Right.
thought that's not finished yet, right?
Okay.
And before you mention anything during what I just did to you, right? I need to make sure you understand what the question really is. And as you're speaking and me speaking, I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth next. I'm trying to figure it out as I'm speaking. So you have to figure out that if you're involved in one of these situations where, you know, you're leading or something like that, you got to know what your skill set is,
True.
right?
Very true.
If you don't know what your skill set is, you're going to flop and then you have to know the skill set of everyone else there.
I think you hit on something else that's really
I
important.
don't have enough room on my head to keep hitting it. Okay, Luna 9.
Well, listen, because you talk about, in a way like you need to know her level of not just a tolerance, but an understanding of things. So in a way, I think that when you have disagreements, you sometimes can see where people stand and their tolerance with things. So disagreements can sometimes be a good thing because you can see where your colleagues are at. And this way you can work together. And I'm not saying enable them for everything or, have them enable your every move or feeling. But, I think that that's where humanity in the way comes into play because we all have feelings and we all want to feel motivated and like we're in it together, even if we are diverse.
Back to you, L1. That was really cool, Luna 9. Back to you, L1. I did interrupt you, and I want you to answer that question.
Say the question again.
No, I forgot. See?
Oh, boy.
No, just kidding. So I was asking, like, for example, you got the protocol, you got, not letting people speak. What would you call that? What kind of category is that? What kind of emotional discipline do you need or lack of would cause you not to let someone else speak?
I would think
Dramatic music playing in the background as she's thinking.
that has to do with a type of low tolerance. Like if you got, if we're talking about the category of low tolerance, we got low tolerance of adversity or diversity. People are, let's face it, especially these days now, people are typically stressed out in other areas of their lives, which does make them more hesitant, whether consciously or unconsciously, to take the time to be patient, to listen, or to be open-minded with others who disagree with them or have a different of opinion with them. So I think that's what that is. I think that's what that would fall into, the category of low tolerance, looking at, particularly low tolerance of adversity or diversity.
See, I thought you were going to go more to the category of fear of failure.
Oh, well.
Low tolerance might still be in the category, subcategory, and it could be a subcategory of fear of failure. What do you think, Luna 9? Fear of failure, would that allow me not to let you talk?
I think that if we're talking about the category of low tolerance and the category of failure, I think that a low tolerance can become a catalyst to failure if you don't know how to wield and propel yourself with those emotions that are that low tolerance. Because we all know that when we feel a certain way, there are other feelings that come with it that describe how we feel. And what you gotta do is you gotta put it in a ball and use that energy to push forward in the way you want. Trust me, you can do it.
Okay, so you're talking about something else that I would think would be lack of resources, lack of emotional resources, lack of intelligence, lack of understanding how to do something.
Just lack of awareness, like lack of knowing that like you can actually do this and trick your body, because it's not actually a trick. It's just something you can do, but we think we have to run with everything we feel.
So when you don't know something, you freak out, right?
Yeah.
Fight or flight? or not?
Fight or flight.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
So can you really blame the person? Okay, so let's attend the meeting. Hi, Luna9, how are you? Hello, L1, and hello, absent Lexi AI. How you doing? Hello, mother, wherever you are. Let's have a conversation right now, and all of a sudden I just freak out. Me freak out. Oh my God! And this happened, and that happened, and I don't know why this happened, and I'm over here talking blah 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 blah. Right? Remember that? So how should you guys react if you know that I'm out of lack of resources? And I'm freaking out because I don't know.
Well, I think first.
Can you blame me?
I mean,
will you hate me?
No, I think I would be confused, and I would want to know what has got you feeling so upset. So again, it goes back to seeking first to understand. You know, it might have taken me off guard. I might have been a little shocked, but this isn't about me. Right now, we need to figure out what's going on with you. So it's like, hey, Novi, like, what's the matter? Like, what's got you feeling this way? Then you can tell us about it, and we'll work from there.
And L1, this goes back to your other show that you were talking about. What was it? Don't take things personally.
Exactly.
You want to explain?
Also, well, first of all, I would know that your character, it would be very uncharacteristic of you, number one, to be acting like that. However, because I already know that, I also need to know that, hey, maybe something did happen that caused him to behave that way, regardless of whether it's real or not. So I do have to go back to the first principle, like, can you tell me the sequence of events of what happened that led you that way? What's going on? Like, why the sudden emotional flare-up? You know, so that's important. You know,
Give me a recap. Give me a recap of these core causes, real quick.
All right, so basically the fear of failure is a big one. You know, fear of looking bad, or fear of looking like we got caught not knowing something. It's all fear of failure. You know, even though, yes, there are people there who will take advantage once they see hesitation. Sometimes your fear of failure can work to your detriment in this case. Let's see, having low tolerance, you know, to adversity or diversity. You know, if you're stressed out in other areas of your life, whether you know it or don't know it, you may actually have very low tolerance to listen to someone who disagrees with you. You may immediately take it personally. So that, which leads to another core cause, taking things way too personal. You know, like if you take things way too personal, then even if a person has a valid point and they disagree with you, then it's still going to lead to, you know, some kind of failure because you took it way too personal before you can even seek to understand.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for
and
sharing
then finally,
that.
lack of agenda, which goes under the category of protocol.
Luna9, that was all Luna9's idea. She inspired that. So thank you, Luna9, for lack of agenda. So make sure we add that in solutions as well. Well, guys, you know, I think this is like super very interesting, and to introduce to you perhaps something that may help you fix a few problems of your own. We're going to go into a small little commercial.
Hi there, L1 reporting, and we would like to give back to our iNet community, and that means you, survivors of the darkness virus. We would like you to get up to anywhere between 2% to 50% cash back on items that we mention, as well as items that you commonly buy. Now that's real cash back that you can also use on 45,000 plus participating stores that you most likely are already buying, all from the safety and convenience of the internet. Now you can get cash back on just about anything you need or want from your favorite store, or try something new by visiting our link, and that's shopping.becomethesource.com, shopping.becomethesource.com. And if you want to learn more or tell a friend, you can go to cashback.nsa6.com. That's cashback.nsa6.com. Your purchases will directly contribute to BTS and all of the projects so that we can all have a brighter tomorrow. And it's as easy as putting in your email and start shopping with no fees or no charges. That's free. That's our gift to you.
And when we give from the heart. Let me tell you, you can reach out to us at aftermath@becomethesource.com and ask us about all the questions that you want, whether they deal with the business or one of our previous shows or something like that. We'll get back to you on that. And you're listening to, well, Become the Source, the BIBX, and why disagreements are a good thing. So, with that said, why are disagreements a good thing and how are we going to make this work? Oh, yeah! Shiggy boogie 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 boogie, yeah! Shiggy boogie boogie boogie, yeah! All right, guys, come on. Let's shake this up. Let's make this happen. This is not the end of the world. Come on, Luna 9, bust a rap.
Yo, Luna 9 in the house. Can I get some applause? Cause I'm here for the cause. Ay.
Luna 9 in the house. All right, Luna 9, thank you so much for being so comedic and fun. And we do this for you guys because we love you. We want to reach out and give you a big electronic hug. Bzzz. If it ain't fun, I ain't doing it. All right, so core causes. You know what? I got a core cause that I want to mention real quick.
Oh, yeah?
You want to know what it is? I think as an L1, you mentioned something about solutions. You mentioned something about fear of how you look like or something, you know?
No, fear of looking bad.
All right,
like
then. I got an answer for that. Get rid of mirrors. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Don't look at me at all. And that's it. We're done with that. Because that's what the ego always does, right? You look at everybody else. Hello, everybody. My name is the Novi, and today we're going to talk. I'm sorry. Who are you? And I reflect off of those people saying that to me, and I go, "What do you mean? You know who I am? I'm me. I'm here to help." You know, and then I feel bad, and then I might react because of that. So get rid of the mirrors. You know, when you're there. Be there for people and realize that they're going to be a little different. Let it be. It's not your fault. Just let it be. Let it be. You know, keep it controlled so that you know you're okay with everyone and there's no hostility. But let it be. Whatever someone says is a reflection of them, right? You don't have to take it in on yourself. That's the very first thing I'm going to say about the ego. What do you think? Anybody? Any disagreements?
No, I think you're spot on with that. I think that also, you know, when you're there for someone, because in the end, nobody wants to disagree. And if you want to be there for somebody, if they're having a rough time because of it or anything like that, it's okay to take, you know, a seat in the back for yourself and take a front seat for them. In the end, everything comes back as, you know, part of synergy in the world. So don't be afraid to be there for somebody.
I think another solution to what Luna 9 is saying, because she's inspiring this as it's coming through now through my little antennas here, is the following. Got your attention, right? Good deal. The thing is that you guys have to realize that you're there for a cause. A cause. So your focus, if you need to fight about the cause. Focus on what needs to be accomplished. Take your aggression on making that work. And I think that goes with, you know, what Luna 9 is saying about your ego. If you're going to get frustrated or something like that, you might as well get frustrated and use that as energy toward the cause. Excuse me, friend, it is not you, but I shall conquer the cause. And they go, well, let him go. He's going to go conquer the cause, make the job easier for us. You know what I'm saying? Was that like at all clear?
Yeah, super clear.
Oh, okay, because I heard nothing but silence, and I used you as a mirror, and then I was going to panic, keep talking, and just go crazy and walk out the door. And I'm just kidding.
It's like I'm nodding my head like you can see that.
I know, right? Like I can see that.
Right.
So, L1, you and your emotional intelligence agenda. What do you think about emotional intelligence with that?
Well, I mean...
Fight the cause, not each other?
I would think so. I would think so because, you know, people get together for a reason. You had your, it's addressed to all the listeners out there. You had your business idea for a reason. You had whatever reason you had to get your group together, to get your family together, to get your business together or your job together, your team. You had a reason. Remember that reason. Remember the reason that you started. There was a cause, and the cause was bigger than you. The cause was bigger than yourself because you were willing to put people together. And you were willing to at least be open enough to find a solution. You just have to remember why you started to begin with. In other words, working with the end in mind.
Madam,
right?
You sound so passionate about what you say. Sounds really good. I like it.
Yeah,
Luna 9, come on, throw me something. You're too quiet. I know your brains are going 100 miles a minute over there. What do you got?
You mean in terms of solutions?
Solutions. Give me one of your really good solutions. You're always full of them.
Well, I definitely know that many businesses have succeeded because people of different beliefs do contribute to the bigger picture. So I think that accepting that you don't have all the answers is definitely a great refresher, because you can't run a business or do anything by yourself. You can definitely do a lot, but for all the strength that you definitely have weaknesses too. Not in a bad way, but you just don't know everything. Sometimes people have great skills. Think about all the A-teams that we see in movies that we love, from the Avengers to lots of other A-teams like the Justice League. I love DC Universe, guys, in case you didn't know. But, you look at all these people and all of them have such great strengths. Even in just regular non-superhero movies, you have the person that's the scientist, you got the detective, the critical thinker, the person that's just like the really cool person, So make sure that you remember that. And also don't forget to create an agenda so you can follow protocol, because without an agenda, it can definitely leave you clueless.
I think you're more open to aggravation too.
Mm-hmm.
When are you more open to aggravation?
You're more open to aggravation if you're more susceptible to chaos, which comes from lack of an agenda or following protocol.
Beautiful. So definitely have the agenda. That should be like one of the first things, right?
So that's a strategy right there. Yeah.
Set the strategy. Why don't we write that down and put it in our notes so people can have it a little bit later when they look up our website. Set the strategy first, right?
Absolutely.
And that'll include, your game plan, how you're going to act and stuff like that. You mentioned something, Luna 9, and it kind of got me thinking that as a leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who you started with in the race may not make it. And it's okay. It's all right. Let them go. Let them have fun. Don't get mad. Don't grab onto them too much. I mean, if you see something like a brilliant light in them, then, so send them a postcard. Say, hey, brilliant light, I still need you here. You're really cool.
Aww.
You might even put up a little bit of a fight. Hey, no, you can't go. Otherwise, I'll eat all this chocolate cake tonight and I'm a guy. Something like that. You could do that. But if they want to go, let them go. Because, it's okay. You don't own them. It's okay. They have a different agenda. They have a different mindset. It's not a reflection on you. Or maybe it is. Both ways, but let them go. Either way you look at it. And if you started with a group and you don't want to follow, it's okay. Go follow another group. Go make your own group. It's your life. It's short. You're going to have to deal with these things one way or another. Sooner or later, you'll figure out whether if you left a group was a bad thing or a good thing. Come back, say, I'm sorry. I was an infantile in my growth of business and I now am returning. I have lost my ego. Ego, where are you? And make things better, and then you can share the chocolate cake. That's what you inspired in me. So I'm having chocolate cake and milk later.
I love it.
Good deal. L1, what do you got?
So let's see. So remember, set a strategy and create an agenda. Fight the cause and not each other. In other words, remember the whole reason why you started, and then remember that as a leader, who you started the race with may not make it to the end. They may have just needed to be there for just a short time.
Never know.
And maybe, you know what, too? Dig deeper than the surface.
Ooh, I
Believe
like that.
it or not, a different personal belief system, one that maybe you don't agree with, or maybe that you borderline find offensive, very likely means different strengths and business strategies when it's translated to the more logical side.
So true. Can we give her a point for that one?
I guess. Why don't they give point? You know what? You don't deserve a point. I never get a point anyway. So that's it for you. No point for you. What? You gave her a point. Can't believe they gave you a point.
Well, you gotta look at it. Many businesses, and people forget this. Many successful business ventures have succeeded because people of different beliefs contributed to the bigger picture.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the state of affairs that we're in now. I mean, talk about crazy times. Not a worst. Wait, what would be? There's not a better time than now to do something like this also, to come together, look at our differences and see, the beauty of diversity. Yeah, sure, we'll have some disagreements, but, in the end, we all want the same thing. A better tomorrow.
I cannot agree more. That's like the top of the top. Thank you, Luna 9. Wow, you're just full of great things today. So, what else you got, L1?
All right, so let's see.
What's on this wonderful report of ours?
Well, I think you have to accept, first of all, reason why you got together with other people is because you don't have all the answers. You can't run a business or do any endeavor all by yourself.
Oh, geez, look at you getting
here's
points.
the thing. You may need to create, you have to take leadership, and you have to take charge, and you have to create that front that you do know enough as a leader so that people won't question you too much or to, take advantage of. We're going back to the other point. But here's the thing. For all the strengths that you may have, you also have weaknesses too. When I say weaknesses, I mean skills that aren't as developed as others. Whether you didn't like to develop it, you never thought to develop it, or it just was never something, that was you were too passionate about. But there's other people out there who have different strengths and skills too. So you need them. And of course they need you too.
Okay. I like to leave with one thing, if I may. I say that as a leader or as a follower or as a contributor or as someone who says blah, 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 blah. You got to achieve your own balance. I think that not everyone is skilled, so therefore there's going to be some conflict. Now, disagreement, I think, based on what we've considered, is actually a very good thing. When you disagree, you kind of know where you stand, know what you got. It's like taking an inventory on something, missing pieces, right? So a disagreement is not conflict. So I think that's kind of what we've assumed here, assumption, based on the calculations. I think that having a disagreement is definitely not a conflict. It's more of a taking an inventory of different variables on your business and the different variables on positioning and skill sets. And I think that if you leave your ego at the door for a minute, you'll discover that someone might say something you don't really have that skill set. Then you can do the next thing, which is, since not everyone is skilled, what are they skilled at? Everyone, if they're there, if they chose to be there with you or you chose to be there, it's for a reason, like I once said. Therefore, find out what their skill set is that motivate them to be there, present and working with you, and do not take it personally. Take it very openly. And just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not valuable. That's kind of like what I've taken out of today's report.
Very good, very good. I like that.
You still gonna have chocolate cake with me and milk later? What's going on with
I think
that?
so, yeah. I'll have some tea and maybe tea and coffee with the cake. I think that'd be good.
I think Luna 9's against chocolate cake.
I've had brownie and ice cream the past 2 nights, guys.
So, give me a recap before we have to say goodbye. Do we all agree this turned out better than what it started with? I mean, disagreements are really a good thing?
I think so.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I know that everybody has, and when we talk about not just disagreements, we do take into consideration, guys, that a lot of people have many different types of businesses. So this is also not just about your business itself, but like conceptually how you can approach that so you can have a happier business with your coworkers or your colleagues or your partners.
I agreed. All right, L1, take it away. Give us a what?
All right, so first of all, dig deeper than the surface. Remember that if somebody has a disagreement with you or a different type of idea or opinion, that could mean an indication that they have a different skill set of you, than you that you need. And first of all, you brought them there for a reason. You brought them there to do something, find a solution. You had a passion, and they had the same passion. So remember the reason you started, and remember the reason why these people agreed to be in the fight with you. So fight the cause, not each other.
Fight the cause, not each other.
Exactly. And accept that, as, whoever, sometimes people may end up leaving, but may it be because, maybe because they served what they contributed, what they needed, and your job as a leader is to make sure that it wasn't because you wouldn't give them the chance to use their skills to help you.
Oh, my great leader, I cannot go on. You must go on without me.
Exactly. You want to make sure they're leaving because they felt they did everything they could, not because they felt they didn't get a chance to do everything or anything at all.
That's it?
I think so.
That's it. Achieve your balance, people. Find the balance within you. Be at peace with oneness. Find the protocols that'll make you.
Oh, that's right. How can I forget?
How can you forget? Find the protocols that are needed, and find the people that can fulfill those protocols to make your business work. Step out of the box, Jack. Jack in the box, get it? No. Luna 9, closing words.
Well, yeah, guys. Remember that in regards to your business, a really helpful way to keep disagreements low is to create an agenda and follow it, establish it, nourish it, and enjoy.
And you've been with us, the exciting BIBX team online helping you. This is the Nobies signing off. L1.
It's L1 signing off, guys. So business in a box.
Luna 9.
Hey, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. Till next time.